Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this Lenovo 3rd generation Thinkpad X1 Yoga. So this one, the keyboard was having issues, so we're going to replace the whole keyboard assembly here. Alright, so first thing, of course, make sure your computer's off. If your computer is just having issues turning on, there's this little reset hole here that you can push with a pin or a needle, and then just press and hold that for about 10 to 15 seconds, and then try and see if it'll turn on again. Alright, anyways, we're going to open this thing up. So the screws stay in place. You're just going to want to use a PH1 or JAS1 screwdriver, and just undo all these screws. Just turn them until they stop coming out. Alright, do this with all the screws. Alright. Alright, so there's 3 along the back, along the hinges. There's 3 in the center here. Okay. Alright. And then there's 2 down here along the front. Okay. And what you want to do is, once you pull those screws out, you want to look at the back here. Just get the gap, and then you want to lift this up. So just pull this up, okay, just like this. Alright, and it swings up like this, and it comes out. Alright, so if you want to put it back, of course you want to put the bottom in first, because there's these little feet here that stick out, or I don't know what you would call them, but they stick out, and then you can just swing it down, and then you can start putting back in the screws again. Alright, so let's take this out and set it aside. Okay, next what you want to do is disconnect the battery. Okay, so get underneath this plastic, of course. You might have to peel this up. Let me zoom in a little bit to make it easier to see. Oops. I just tapped some random spot on my phone. Something popped up. Okay, so this connector, if I remember correctly from looking at it, I would say, I think you lift it from here. Okay, so lift from the front. Let's see. This model I haven't worked on that often yet, so let's see. So I'm going to go underneath here, and let's see. It should hopefully pop up. There we go. So here you can see I was able to pop up this connector. You want to be careful not to pull it up too high. Once you pop that up, you can slide this part forward, okay, and then you should be able to lift it out. So to put it back, of course, you slide it forward, and you put this back part in, and then you push it backwards like this, and then you can snap it back down. Okay, so just like that, and then snap that back in place. There you go. So again, we're going to go underneath, pop this up, just like that. The front pops up, slide this up and out, just like that. Alright, so that's how you disconnect the battery. To be safe after disconnecting the battery, you want to open up the computer. Be careful since the back panel's not on it, so now it's not being held down as well. And then press and hold the power button for about 10 to 15 seconds. Alright, this will drain any power that's left on the board so you don't accidentally damage some components. Alright, so there we go. Again, open and close this carefully, because now you don't have all the screws holding this down. And let me see if you can actually see the hinge mechanism here. It's kind of interesting. It moves around. So when you open this, you can actually see how the hinge... Oops, let's see, I'll show on one side since it's kind of interesting. You see that? It kind of has like a strange like moving mechanism there. Let's see. It's pretty interesting. So this part like swings out. It's kind of cool. Alright, so anyways, we're going to remove, let's see if we can. It looks like we're going to have to remove the speakers first here. This build looks pretty complicated, but we'll see what we can do. So you want to check this one, see what you'll have to transfer over. Match it up. It looks like we'll have to take this piece out. It looks like there's some wires going under. So, okay. So it looks like there's a very specific order we need to remove these. You want to keep all the screws in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. If you mix them around, you can cause damage to your computer. So what I do is I just put them on my desk out of my work area, but I put them on my desk in the same layout that I remove them. So if you see 4 screws there, I'll take out the 4 screws and put them in that pattern. Alright. So it's very important that you do this. If you get the screws mixed up, you can damage the computer. Alright, so we'll just take all these screws out. So this speaker is held in with 3 screws. There is another screw holding this little bracket for the pen or the stylus. So if you want, remove that screw as well. Okay, and then this piece looks like it will come out here, but let's see, we're gonna lift up the speaker first. Hopefully it will come out. So there's a foam underneath, so you want to pull this up slowly because this is attached to the foam, and the speaker seems to like run across here to the other speaker, and the actual speaker wire runs this way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave actually the speakers attached to the battery. I'm just going to disconnect the battery connector here. So let's zoom in so you can see that. Right, so this looks to be the battery connector. At the wings here, I just take my fingernails and get behind the wings, and then I kind of just wiggle the connector like this. Okay, and eventually that connector should pop out. All right, just keep wiggling it, and there we go. So the connector comes out just like that. All right, so now we're gonna undo the speakers for this other side, or sorry, the screws for the other side of the speaker. Let's zoom out so you can see better. All right, so there's 3 screws holding this one as well. Again, you're gonna wanna try and, let's see, hopefully I have enough room to work on this and not have stuff getting in the way. I'm gonna move the screws out of the way here. Okay. So I'm gonna keep the screws for the speakers in their own pile. You can use whatever method to help you remember where each screw came from. Yeah, so I'm putting the screw speakers in their own separate like pattern. Okay, and then you can lift this one up just like the other one. Again, there's a foam underneath, so do it slowly. And here you can see the foam here. Okay, so here you can see how the battery, it holds these wires in place. If you want, you can lift the battery out with that. So let's see if there's other screws holding the battery or if that's it. Looks like those are the only screws. I don't know if there's hidden ones somewhere. Okay, there's one screw down here as well. Don't forget that, and be careful with the speaker wire that's running across there. Okay, so you can take that speaker wire out. All right, so I'm gonna put the speaker wire back just so I don't get it mixed up, and let's see if we can lift this up now. Okay, so we can lift the battery up from the bottom, and then we can pull it out just like that, and I'm holding it with the speakers here. We're gonna set that aside all as one piece. Okay, so here you can see underneath, they actually used to have this plastic here, but it looks like on this one they put this black plastic, or this clear plastic instead. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to peel this out and transfer it over. I might actually have to do that. Okay, so let's see here. On this, you got the keyboard backlight connector, so that's matched up with this, and then you got the keyboard connector here matched up with that. Okay, so let's see, we got this tiny cable here, which is for the pen. So this one might be a little tricky to remove. You might have to use tweezers or something. Just use whatever to remove it. I'm going to use my fingernails if I can, just like the other one. Oh, it came out really easily. So just like that, get this cable out, move it through this guided area. Okay. And it looks like they put some tape holding it down as well, so peel up that tape as well. And it goes underneath the foam, which is, I don't like that because that means I'm gonna probably end up damaging the foam trying to peel this out. So let's see, just peel that tape up. There we go, okay. And then you're gonna unroute this cable here and lift this piece out. So if you want, you can put this immediately into the other one, but I'm just going to leave it out on the side. Okay, and let's see what else we got here. So you got the fingerprint sensor. Oops, let's zoom out. So you got the fingerprint sensor here. Trackpad, let's remove the trackpad connector. Just flip the latch up, and hopefully we can pull this out without damaging it. There we go. We're gonna have to undo this adhesive. I'm gonna transfer this, so let's see here. But okay, the adhesive runs all the way along, so we are gonna have to peel this cable out. Right, so I like to remove this by getting as close to the adhesive as I can, pinch the cable down with my finger, and then pull it that way to keep the cable flat, and then just pull it up at the same time, just like this, okay? All right, just like that. You wanna be very careful at these folded areas. But same thing, just keep kind of pulling it. Be careful not to pinch that folded area too hard, and slowly peel it up as you kind of grab as close to the adhesive as you can where it's holding down. Okay, slowly peel it up, and just like that. All right, so now we got this cable out. We're gonna flip this latch and then pull this cable out as well. And now we got the trackpad disconnected. So we're gonna have to transfer this over. If you look at the bottom here, you see all these screws that are holding it. So there's these 4 screws. It looks like these screws don't actually go through, so that's kind of weird. So I don't think I have to remove these 3 screws. They don't look like they go through to the trackpad, so it looks like it's just these 4. So let's see if we can pull the trackpad out. Okay, we're gonna have to use a PH0 or JIS0 screwdriver, not the PH1. So let's remove the 4 screws here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so if that comes out, I'm going to transfer that over right away. Yes, it worked. So hopefully their trackpad wasn't having any issues. I'm going to try and clean it off because it is dusty. Okay, and we're going to transfer this trackpad over. So of course, to transfer it over, just get the other one, put it in place. If you want, you can flip it over so you can see what you're doing. Just drop it into place. If you want, you can actually, there's still some dirt here, so I'm going to clean this off as well. Okay, and then we're going to put this trackpad in there. So it looks like this whole trackpad, it just clicks with this metal piece here. It looks very complex, this build. Anyways, drop the trackpad in there. Okay, make sure the screw holes line up. If you want, you can actually line it up on the top using some tape, but let me show you first. So first what I do is I'll take the screws and I'll just loosely fit them in. If the screws allow it to move around, then I will use tape from the other side to keep it in the proper alignment, and then after that tighten the screws down all the way. Okay, so again, we're just gonna get all 4 screws. Okay, just like that. Then you want to see if the keyboard or the trackpad can move around, and it can move around slightly. So if you want to ensure that it's aligned 100%, what you do is you get a piece of tape. I actually like rolled over the edges of the tape, if you can see, so that way it's like a non-sticky pad just on the edges. And then I will use that, I'll line up the trackpad. Okay, try and, I don't know, I get like OCD or whatever about this, so if it's not lined up right, then it kind of bugs me. So I try and get the gap to be the same all the way around. Get another piece of tape on this side, tape that down as well. All right, and now it should be lined up pretty good. We'll tighten these down. Okay. I'll put the cable back later because I want to make sure that once I transfer over that, what do you call that, black plastic piece? I don't know if I have to transfer that or not, but there's this aluminum stuff here that I don't want it to interfere with if it touches under here. So I'm going to check that real quick. I might not have to transfer that over because it looks like they taped it down the same way. All right, so right now I'm just tightening up these screws. Okay, once you do that, you can peel this tape off. I save these pieces of tape for later, but there you go. Oh, it kind of left some marks, so if it has these marks, you can actually try and clean it up with some rubbing alcohol. Let me do that real quick and see. Hopefully it will clean off. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to use the tape and kind of just put the tape on all of it to make it all matching. But anyways, I have this bottle of rubbing alcohol. Just spray some on there. Okay, and then we'll just try and wipe it off. Huh, it's it's actually leaving some marks there. That's weird. It didn't even stick that strong on it. So, oh, actually, okay, it did clean it off. Interesting. There we go. There you go. The tape marks are gone. So we're going to set that aside. All right, that would have been weird if it got damaged that easily, the surface. All right, so now we're going to disconnect the keyboard connector here. Flip the latch up. It has these little tabs that help you easily pull them out, just like that. Same thing with the keyboard backlight connector. Get the tab, pull that out. So as you can see on here, they have the same thing. They have these tabs, and then it's actually held down with adhesive. So I don't think I have to actually transfer this black plastic cover over. Okay, so we got the fingerprint sensor here. So let's remove that. Let's see, do I have to use the pH 0 or pH 1 for this? Okay, so I always like to test the bigger screwdriver first, because if you use the smaller one, you can actually damage the thing. So let's remove this connector. Same thing, there's a latch under here. Flip that latch. All right, once you flip that latch, you can use this piece of plastic tape to pull it up. And then they use adhesive again, so you want to, again, try and keep it flat, straight, this cable, as you peel it up. Just like this. And this one, you can probably actually leave this cable attached to the back here, because we are transferring that over. So let's take the 2 screws out from here using the PH1 or JAS1 screwdriver. 2 screws, okay. Just like that. And then we should be able to, yes, lift this up just like that and pull this up. So here you can see the fingerprint sensor. Looks like this. All right, we're gonna get this and we're gonna put this back. So it has this little metal shim that goes underneath, and then once you get that under that little bracket, you can drop the rest in place. Okay, oops, sorry, just like that. Drop it back in place. And then we'll take those 2 screws and put them back in. Sorry, this laptop has a lot of components to it, so I want to make sure I get everything back together. I can't really go back and forth with the video because my phone prevents me from merging videos that are longer than an hour and a half, just in case this video goes over an hour and a half. I don't want to make like multiple parts. Alright, so you put those 2 screws in, and here you can see the fingerprint sensor is nice. Alright. Next, let's see, we removed all those cables. There's the LCD or LVDS connector here. We're going to have to remove that as well. So let's move this out of the way. So there's a latch here. Okay, it's going to be hard to see because it's so dark colored, but flip this latch up just like that, and then we'll be able to pull that out later. I'm going to leave it in there for now. We got the gray cable here. I don't know why, but it's plugged into the black arrow connector, and then we got the white arrow here that's connected to the black arrow, so, or the white arrow that's connected to the black cable. That's kind of weird. I don't know why they do it like that sometimes, but that's how they do it, so we're just going to leave it. There's the M.2 SSD here. This is a PCIe NVMe SSD. I don't need to remove that to get the computer apart, but if you want to upgrade it, you can. There's just 1 screw here using the PH1 or JAS1 screwdriver. I'm not going to take it out, but once you take the screw, it pops up slightly at an angle, or you can lift it up and then pull it back out. You will want to transfer over this foil stuff to the new one just to keep the, it helps with the heat. At least that's what I think. This should be like a heat thing. All right. So let's see here. What else do we need to remove before we get everything else out? Actually, I don't know if this is the LCD or LVDS connector or this one, because there's one on this side too. One is for like the touchscreen stuff, and then the other one's for the LCD itself. We're going to flip this latch up as well. And this one's held down with some adhesive here, so we're going to have to peel this adhesive up. You don't want to peel the other black plastic away from the board, so let's just make sure that we're only peeling up this black adhesive layer. You want to hold down the connector while you peel this so that you don't rip this connector up. Alright, so I'm just doing that. Okay, once you get that, hopefully we'll be able to get under here. It looks like they put adhesive under this too, which kind of sucks, because now it becomes really risky to try and separate this. Okay, well, let's peel this thing up. So there you go, we got the adhesive out, and then you can pull this connector out of the way. All right, so we're gonna leave that up. All right, you got the CMOS or the BIOS battery right here. It connects down there, and I think those are all the connectors. The fan connector is this flat ribbon cable. So yeah, now we're gonna go ahead and disconnect everything else. So there's this plastic thing I'm gonna have to put back later. We'll set that aside. And let's go ahead and start removing screws. So they actually put little arrows here to tell you where the screws go, but they're hard to see, and some of them don't have them. So what I like to do is take a marker, and then every screw I remove, I'm actually gonna put a mark next to it. So we'll remove this screw. Okay. So once I remove that screw, I just get the blue marker and I'll put like a line there, okay? And that helps me know where I took the screw out from. And there's one screw here. I'm most likely going to have to open the hinge to remove the whole thing, so we'll see how this goes, but let's remove this screw as well. Okay, I'm gonna mark that. I don't know if it'll be visible, but oh yeah, okay, it's visible. If my head gets in the way, I'm sorry, because I do have to look over the top of the computer to see what I'm removing. Okay, so we're going to remove this screw as well. This is like a big screw. That's kind of weird. All right, I'm going to mark that one as well. We're going to remove this other big screw here. Right, mark that as well. Got another screw down here. We're going to remove that. Hopefully you guys can see all the screws I'm removing here. Mark that one as well. Okay, let's see here. What else? So let's remove the wireless antennas. Just go at the tails here, all right, and then pull them straight up, just like that. You don't want to try and pry from the front or you can damage them. So the wireless antennas go underneath this piece of plastic as well. I don't know if I'll have to peel that up, but I probably will, so let's do that. Let's peel this plastic up and get the antennas out from under there. All right, put that piece back. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and remove these 3 screws down here. All right, I'm gonna remove all 3 and then I'll mark it. Okay. Want to make sure that your screwdriver isn't skipping. If it is, make sure you put a little more pressure down into the screw so you don't accidentally damage the screw hole. Okay, so there's another one here, another one here, and another one here. Okay, then we got this screw over here. Hopefully you guys can see all the screws I'm removing again, because it's hard for me to confirm what I'm recording. All right, so we got that one. To be careful with my screwdriver so I don't damage something. All right, then we got these 3 screws going in like this angle here, so we're going to remove those 3. Okay, mark those 1, 2, and 3. Can't really mark that because it's on like a stand post thing. Okay, and then we got 3 screws running down. Oh, we also have this one here, so let's remove that one as well. Okay, and then we got these 3 screws here, so let's remove those 3 as well. Looks like this metal bracket is going to come out. Okay. Let's remove those 3 screws. Okay. I don't know. I'm going to mark the bracket itself, but then we have the one down here. Okay. Let's see. This bracket will likely come up. Yep. At an angle like that, so it hooks over the top here and then it goes down. Keep that in mind because you can't just put it back down however. Okay, so let's take this metal bracket out. I'm going to mark these just so I know. Okay. Alright, so let's see. Will this board come out now? I think I got all the screws for this board, unless there's some, for some reason, hiding. Okay, they did hide one under here, so make sure you get this one. Let's see, how did I do that? This 3 and then that one. Okay, so they're hiding one under here. Make sure you get that screw that they're hiding underneath that. Okay, mark that one as well. Hopefully we'll see that later. And okay, so let's see if we can peel this. Oops, sorry, I'm going out of view of the camera. So I'm going to see if I can pull this connector out as well. Okay. Again, I think they put an adhesive holding this down. Man, this connector, yeah, there's an adhesive, definitely. Okay, so you want to pull this adhesive up. Come on, there we go, and pull this connector out. There we go. And there's actually a screw under here as well, so make sure you got that as well. Man, I'm not liking this laptop. There's too many hidden screws on this one. Okay, so now let's see if we can lift this up. I don't know, are there more hidden screws here? What's going on? Yep, there's another hidden screw here. Shoot, make sure you get this one as well. Jeez. I do not like this laptop. There's way too many hidden screws on this model. Okay, put that there. Mark that one as well. Alright, don't forget all these hidden screws. Hopefully there's not more of them. That's a lot of hidden screws already. Okay, so it looks like this board, you want to lift, oops, let's zoom out a lot. So this board you actually want to lift from the right hand side, because on the left side the headphone jack is actually holding it in place, okay? So we'll lift from the right hand side, slowly lift it up, make sure these cables are not in the way. Okay, make sure all these cables again get out of the way, and then slide it over this way. Right, so we got the main board out. As you can see, there's nothing to replace underneath, so yeah, there's no replaceable RAM or anything. I'm just going to clean out the dust. Since we have it open, might as well. Okay. If you're wondering how I'm cleaning it, I'm just using a toothbrush and rubbing the dust off as I blow it away. Okay, so now the bottom's a lot cleaner. And we're going to set that aside as well. Be very careful with that board. You don't want to risk damaging it. Okay, so now we'll compare the bottom here. So we got this. This is the little trackpad thing. I don't know why this one's so floppy. It's like they didn't even put these screws in or something. I don't know. But these are PH0 or JS0 screws, it looks like. I don't know. This one's weird. This one is like floppy like this, but this one is like solid in place. I don't know why, but seems like it works. All right, this one seems like it works. And now, because we don't have the screws in, so you want to be careful lifting this up. It looks like there's this metal bracket here that, does that mean I didn't have to take out the screws for the fan? So this metal bracket here, it looks like that didn't need to be removed. So all these screws, you can actually leave them in. So the ones that go around the fan. Interesting. So I'm going to put this bracket back in place. All right, and then I'm going to see about putting these 4 screws back in. I don't know why they did it like that. It's kind of, yeah, I don't know what that bracket's for. So let's see, let's compare everything else. Looks okay. We're gonna have to transfer over the wireless antennas and everything. And looks like everything else is good. So they got all the screws on that bracket, yep, and they got all the screws on this side bracket, yep. Okay, let's try and put back these screws here. So let's see if we took that one there, and then I have to 1, 2. This was the hidden screw. Then we got those 2. Then we got that one small screw there. Then we got another small screw and then another big screw. Okay, so all these really fat screws that came out, they hold this bracket in place. So you can actually leave those screws in. Okay, I don't know why they made it like that, but I'm just gonna put them back. Okay, so I'm gonna move this out of the way. We're gonna put this here, and I'm gonna put those fat screws back in. So there's 3 of these fat screws that we removed, and then this one up here used a regular smaller screw. I don't know why they did that, but they did, so that's what we're just gonna put back, okay? And yeah. Okay, so hopefully I did put them back in the right way. Let's see, we got that small one, then we got that hidden small one. Okay, making sure I got all the screws right. 3. Then we got 1, 2, 3. Got this one here. Okay, that should be right. Alright, so I don't know why they didn't use another big screw like this on there. If somebody worked on this before, that could be why. So make sure to check yours, it might be different. Alright, I'm getting a call, but I'm going to try and finish this real quick because it looks like I'm almost done. So there's this tab here, I don't know what that's for. Now let's see if we can transfer over these antennas and everything else. So this antenna goes over here, and it looks like it just folds over. So let's go ahead and pull this antenna out. It does slot between this screw mount, and then it goes on the upper side of these little wire routes, okay? So let's pull these wire routes out, the wire out of the routed mechanisms. All right, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hold these hinges down while I kind of open up the screen. I'm gonna use the table to kind of drag it as I pull it, just like this, okay? And hopefully, if I open it enough, I should be able to just drop the thing out, okay? So I'm opening it. Looks to be about 90 degrees here. Let's see if I can pull the hinges out now. Nope, so I have to move it more than 90 degrees. Okay, so maybe open it completely flat like this, 180 degrees or so. And let's see now. Yep, okay, so now I need to zoom out. I don't know, hopefully you can see, or hopefully you get what I'm doing. Okay, so I have it open like flat. Now we can lift this out. Here you can see. And this is the replacement, the old one. So let's compare to the replacement. Looks like we got the 2 connectors. Everything else seems to match up. This one is just dustier. And that looks good. These all look good. So yeah, so we can set that one aside. Okay, now that we got this, we're gonna reattach the screen on this one. So the way it was like that, right? We opened it 180, yep. Okay, so lift that back up. If yours has these little plastic thingies sticking out, you kind of want it to go between the hinges if possible, okay? So the way you can do it is you start it slightly further and slowly slide the thing backwards until it drops in, just like that, and hopefully that plastic will go with it. So this one went, this one is not, so I'm gonna try and push it over. I don't know why they have that plastic. It looks like it's just gonna break off, but I don't know. Anyways, let's lift it up and try and push that plastic to stay on the other side. There we go. All right, so now we got that open. If you want, you can actually put these screws back in first to hold the hinge a little bit, right? These are like the bigger, like silver screws. Okay, so I'm going to put the silver screw here first. Make life a little bit easier. There we go. We'll take the other silver screw, we'll put that in as well. And you want to be very careful like opening and closing this laptop when you're having only the one screw here, because normally you want the whole panel helping hold it in place. Okay, so we're just going to tighten these. I am going to add some red thread locker there to hold those screws better, but anyways, I'm going to hold the hinges and close the laptop back up. All right, just like that. You can see the plastic is over here. Okay, so again, I'm going to add some red thread locker just to make sure that these screws don't come loose. You don't have to do this, but I feel like it helps secure it. Some people said that, I mean, this doesn't have plastic stuff, so it shouldn't be an issue, but some people said the thread locker eats the plastic and makes it brittle. So on certain laptops, you want to be careful, I guess. All right. But if you put very little, it shouldn't be an issue because it shouldn't flow out into the plastic anyways. It should stay within the screws. All right. Take out the other one. So again, you put very little. I don't know if you can see, but just barely, like a drop, not even a drop. Even that's kind of too much if you can see it. You don't really need that much. All right, so just get that, put that screw in, tighten it down. All right, we're gonna set that aside now. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and route this cable back the way it was before, just like this. Again, it was routed at the top edge, so I'm going to route them all at the top edge again. Okay, just like this. And then it went behind this one screw mount, so get it behind that screw mount, and it went around this cable here. Okay, just like that. Alright, so now we're going to get the main board. You want to, again, be careful with it. And we're going to put it at an angle like this. Get the headphone jack lined up first. Make sure these cables all end up on top of the board. You don't want to trap them underneath. Alright, so again, is this the same plastic from the other one? Okay, so this one, I guess this plastic is not supposed to come with the board, but it peeled off, so we're just gonna peel it up and keep it out. Okay, so this one, the way they had it, it's part of this piece, so let's try and keep that there. Alright, again, left side first, make sure that the headphone jack lines up. Let me zoom in. Okay. Oops, too much. Zoom out some more. Alright, so we'll get that in first. Make sure these cables end up on top, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, same with this one. The keyboard you want to keep out as well, and the keyboard backlight cable. Alright, slowly drop it into place. Make sure that it went in. It looks like it's not completely lined up. There's a little raised area there that it's supposed to fall into, so make sure you get this lined up. There we go. So I did have to angle it a little bit more again, and it looks like it's dropping down properly now. And you want to pull out the trackpad, the backlight one first, and then the keyboard one, and slowly drop that in place. Okay, so that's good. We'll put this metal bracket in. So put it at an angle like that, and then slowly drop it down, just like that. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and take the PH1 or JS1 screwdriver, put back these 3 screws that go down this side. Okay, I'm going to loosely fit that just because this bracket here can move around a little bit. So we'll get that and get that. Alright, and then we'll tighten the screw in. Okay, just like that. Alright, so we got those 2 screws. Then we'll get this one screw down here. If you want, you can make sure that everything will plug in properly. So let's plug in the fingerprint sensor connector here. Just line it up. My head's probably gonna go in the way. Let me zoom in so that doesn't happen. Okay, hopefully it won't. Get that cable lined up. All right, once it's in, push the latch back down. I just slide my finger over the top to get it in. All right, let's get this, the pen sensor connector here. So that one drops down here. Okay. I don't remember what screw was holding this. I think that, oh, that was like the one near the speaker. So, okay, guide the wire through. Right, same way. Okay. Since the tape was under here, I don't know if I can put that back. I'm gonna just fold it over like that, and hopefully that should be okay. Get this cable back in and push that. So they actually mark this so you know which side is up. There's actually a white mark there, but the other way you know is the connector, if you want to see the pins exposed on the top on this one. All right. So if it's upside down, then it will be like a solid solid plastic that you can't see the connectors pins for that. All right, so I'm gonna just push that to keep it stuck down with that adhesive. All right, and then there's the one screw I'm gonna put back here. Because I don't think the speaker, yeah, the speaker doesn't use that screw hole, so just that. Right, the speaker doesn't use it at all. Okay, perfect. So we'll tighten that all the way down, and then that will stay in place. Perfect. All right. So let's see, the next screws we got, I don't know why they have this screw here. It doesn't seem like it's holding anything down, but we're gonna put that screw in. Oh, I see. This is for another chip. I don't know if this is for another SSD, a shorter one. They didn't label it, but there's a slot here. I think this is another M.2 card. I think it's like the half-sized one. I think it's a M.2 PCIe NVMe or SSD. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna put back this screw here. All right, we'll get this screw here. Hopefully I already pulled all the connectors back up so I didn't trap anything under. All right, we'll put this one in. All right, let's reconnect all these connectors here. So we got the keyboard backlight connector. So you can pull this tab and then push down the front with your finger to try and get that in. Sorry. Okay, just like that, and then it pushes itself in because there's not much slack. After that, you just push the latch back down. Same thing with the keyboard connector. Pull that back like this, and there we go. All right, looks like it's in. Push that latch back down. Okay, let's see. Now we got all of that. What am I missing here? So we got, let's put this one screw under this hidden spot. Okay. Just like that. Then we got this one screw up here. Okay, we're almost done with all the screws. So we got this one screw down here. Okay, and then we got the 3 screws along the top, one under each of these cables. Okay. Alright, that one. Then we had one up in the center right here. Alright, and then the other one that was hiding under this cable, this adhesive part of the cable as well. Okay. Let's plug back in the trackpad connector. So this one's a little tricky because it's folded over, but basically just try and guide it over this way. Okay. Might have to kind of unfold it a little bit and hold it. Come on. Let's see here. It's hard to see. There we go. Make sure you get it underneath there, like that. Flip that latch back over. Then we'll line up this one. Get that in. Come on. Go. And then put that latch over as well. Get this down. There we go. All right, putting back down the adhesive. And then we can reconnect this cable. Kind of have to roll it over a little bit. Just like this. All right, get that in place. Put that latch down. Make sure the adhesive goes down. And make sure to peel up this plastic and get these wireless antennas back underneath like before. Again, the gray one was plugged into the black triangle. Line it up. Make sure you get it lined up right before you push it down. The way I check is I rub my fingernail over the top. If it doesn't move, then I know it's good. Try and keep the pressure flat, just like that. Right, black cable, same thing. Okay, push it down. There we go. And we had this black plastic thing on top. So the way you line it up, this screw lined up with that circle there, and the other screw lined up with that half circle there. Okay, so just line those up. And then we can push this adhesive down, but the adhesive doesn't seem to stick anymore, so I don't know. Stay down, please. Okay, I guess I'll just leave it there, and then when I put the cover on it, we'll hold it in place, because that adhesive doesn't hold well. Alright, then we got the last connector up here, before we plug in the battery and the speakers. Just like that. Push that latch over. Wire down, just like that. Okay, so now we're going to put back the battery. We might have to plug in the power before this will work again. But we'll see. I don't remember. I don't think the customer left me the charger for this one. Let's see. What kind of charger did this use? Oh, it uses a USB-C charger. I don't think the customer gave me the charger, so hopefully this will work without having to plug it in. So we'll find out. Alright, so get the battery again and make sure the speaker wires stay together. Okay. We're going to drop this in, front side first. Alright, and then we'll drop it down. Make sure it lines up. This wire's kind of going underneath that. I don't think it should, so use a needle to kind of guide it back out. So this blue wire, pull it back out. There we go. Alright, so this side looks like it's okay. This blue wire. This side, it feels like I need to move it a little bit. It doesn't want to go in place. So let's get these wires out. Okay, this wire came out. I'm going to take it out and put it back on top. Just like that. And then, let's see. So this side, I had to push this side down more to slide it up. And there we go. So we got that lined up. Okay. Take the screwdriver. And we're going to put back the speaker screws. You have to hold it down because of the foam. So I'm going to put the 3 screws in first. Alright, just like that. To be careful, this cable keeps wanting to go underneath, but I think it's supposed to stay out. Okay, push the speaker down, and then let's tighten up the screw. Okay. Go, perfect. Let's plug the speaker cable back in. Pull it back, make sure it lines up right. Push that in, just like this. There we go. All right, we'll take the one screw from the middle here. Make sure to keep the wire out of the way. You can use the needle to do that, or use whatever you want. All right, get this middle screw in. Again, make sure to keep the wire out of the way. You do not want to smash that speaker wire with the screw. If you do, then you will no longer have sound out of the left speaker. There we go. Okay, now the left speaker screws. Oops. Okay, get one screw in first. Make sure the posts line up so that you can put the screws in. Second screw and last screw for the speakers. Now we can tighten it down. Okay. There we go. Now we just got to put the bottom cover back on. Zoom out so you can see everything. Again, you want to put the bottom part in first, like this. Make sure that it latches in place, that if you push it downwards, it stays there, like if I slide it towards myself, all right? And then drop it in place. You can snap all of these clips back in, and then just tighten this up, all right? And that's all there is to this. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, please like and subscribe. Help others find my videos. Thank you for watching. You're welcome to stay to the end to see how it works when I go and power it on. Hopefully it will power on okay without any issues and I won't need the charger, but we will find out. Alright. I don't know if they even left battery charge because I didn't turn it on first. So if the plastic things were sticking out there, you want to make sure to tuck those in as well. I didn't mention that either, but anyways, finish putting back all the screws. Alright, everything's nice and tight now. Let's see if it turns on okay without any issues. Everything's good. Turn it up. Alright, and let's push that power button. And nope, it didn't turn on. So let me get a charger and I will be back. Let's see. Alright, so I'm back with the charger. Let's plug this in and see what happens. Plug it in. And charger light. I'm plugging in the wrong one. Nothing's happening. Oh, actually it turned on now. Okay, so that's all I needed just to turn it on. So set that aside. Actually, is there battery? Like, oh, that's what I forgot. My bad. The charger key light. The battery cable. So let's undo these screws again. I was wondering why it wasn't turning on. Okay. Undo all these screws. Okay. Pop this cover back off. Come on, why are you stuck? Why are you being stuck here? Come on. I already took all the screws back out. Okay. Alright, let's pull this cover back off again. There we go. Uh-oh, my phone battery's low. Actually, not my phone. Okay, there we go. So that's what I was forgetting. Don't forget the battery connector, of course. So get that out of the way. Again, let's zoom back in. Okay, put the wings back in first, slide it down, and then push this into place. Okay, just like that. All right, should be good. All right, let's get this plastic piece back down. All right, oops, let's zoom back out. Okay, bottom of the case again. And put the screws back in. Okay, sorry for that mix-up. And now it should be good. Like all the screws. Make sure to clip back all the clips. Alright, now let's turn it back on and hopefully it's good to go. Alright, it's turning on now. Good. There you go, Lenovo screen's up. And that's all there is to it. Just test all the keyboard keys, make sure everything's good. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, please like and subscribe. Help others find my videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!